Yep, that is the plan.
My brother Matt and myself are finally setting out to complete a walk that I've wanted to do for years. The River Lea, from the source to the Thames. The length of the river is 42 miles, but you can't access some parts, so detours that follow as close as possible will push the distance up over 50 miles, and there'll be a good few more additional miles walked along the way. Looking online, most websites recommend completing the walk over 4 to 6 days, but my brother's only in town briefly, so we plan to attempt to complete it in 3 consecutive days. This is probably a little ambitious, but I'm not one to let common sense get in the way of grand plans. We'll also return to my home in London overnight, meaning walking to and from train stations will add a few more miles to our total distance. I'd recently been ill, and recovery had been slow, so I had planned to spend a year working on my fitness, then attempt this walk when I was in better shape. But I suddenly found myself out of a job, and decided to skip the getting fit part and just go for it. So here we are, day 1. Just over an hour and 3 trains from home. We find ourselves at Leagrave Station, which is just less than half a mile walk to the source of the River Lea. Or is it? The widely accepted source of the River Lea is Well Head at Wallard's Bank, although some say the actual source is 350 metres west, on the edge of Leagrave Park. Other people claim that the true source is Lucy Brook, or the Houghton Brook, in Houghton Hall Park, with the Houghton being the more popular of these 2 theories. So we've taken a quick taxi ride, and we'll start our walk there. Interestingly, Google Maps shows Houghton Brook on my laptop, but on the Google Maps iPhone app, names this brook as the River Lea.
Should we get moving?
Yeah.
Walking the Houghton will add just shy of 3 miles to the journey. And of course we'll backtrack slightly to visit Well Head and Leagrave Park.
Here we go!
Shopping trolley in the brook. I did think about keeping count of shopping trolleys and then realised that life's too short.
Walked 2 miles already.
With the brook being dry, it actually made sense to walk in it, that being the most direct route, although my brother wasn't so sure.
The paths veer off here and there fairly soon according to the maps, and this will take us under the main road and then join the next footpath, saving you
See what the main road is.
a detour. I'm going this way.
Yeah.
I'll meet you by the Thames. Well, I've lost my brother, but I've got a blackbird for company.
I spent a fair bit of time walking in the bed of the brook, but stepped out where it was too wet to do so. My brother, after finally accepting that I'm a genius, joined me occasionally.
I'm staying in it. I mean, not all the way to the Thames.
Yeah, but like.
I'm staying in it for now.
Yeah, but what?
Don't be... You're just no fun. Come on. Amy, 1991.
If I twist my ankle now.
I'll leave you here.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
It must be difficult for you, knowing that I've always been the sensible brother.
It's best to make statements like this just before walking into a tree and simultaneously almost tripping over a rock.
Oh! It's getting a bit boggy now.
Apologies for some of the exposure issues. The GoPro did misbehave occasionally. Luckily enough, it wasn't our main camera.
Oh, look. I think it's starting to turn into a bit of a river. Oh, yeah, maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Yeah. Right, turn back while we can before it gets worse.
Getting slightly strange looks from locals as they've crawled out of the river.
Leaving Houghton Regis, there's a nice bit of open space, albeit with the constant drone of the M1 motorway, and a fairly new industrial estate nearby.
There's a Skylark up there somewhere. Should have brought the big lens, but it's too heavy. Kestrel there.
It would have also been nice to have lapel microphones, but using those takes time, so I decided not to bring them, meaning this footage will come with a little wind noise.
Google Maps thinks this is the River Lea, although the signs here say Houghton Brook.
Passing under the M1, we met some more of the local wildlife in the form of a couple of junkies who liked the look of our cameras. Fortunately, our top speed was higher than theirs, turning what could have been something nasty into a non-incident. Let's pick up again at Leagrave Park. Here's what some people consider the source, sometimes known as Sundon Brook.
Source number 2.
And just a little way away, here's what, according to the sign, is the true source of the River Lea. You can make your own minds up. We're just here to walk. Lots of long-tailed tits.
This bit feels like complete open countryside, but we are in fact just about a mile away from the centre of Luton.
I lied, it's actually 2 miles.
Not been to Luton before. Actually, I went to the airport once. My excitement is average.
And here we have Luton's lonesome watering can. Back out on the roads, you can't get near the river here apart from the occasional crossings.
I think that's the Lea coming back there and then going that way.
We're now passing through Walden Park, apparently the finest park in Luton, where the River Lea becomes a lake. This park is Grade 2 listed on the English Heritage Register of Historic Parks and Gardens. It's home to a museum, has Victorian and Edwardian design features, but we didn't stop to look at any of that because we needed to get a move on. We did, however, check out the suspension bridge, which was built in 1908 and is supposedly the shortest single-span suspension bridge in England. There's a good few geese in this park, including some interesting specimens.
What are you, grey lag? Some kind of Canada grey lag hybrid.
Such a shame that this estate agent has missed out on a bit of free advertising due to some inconsiderate person only throwing part of one of their boards into the river. Although this busy road is less than pleasant, I do like the fact that the houses here have their own little personal bridges across the River Lea. We then passed through Luton, again sticking as close as we could to the river. Not much to say as we didn't stop to take in the sights. It looks very similar to a whole load of other English town centres. There were a good few moments when I wished I'd brought an old SLR camera and a roll of black and white film, but this would have only been more weight to carry, and the constant temptation to stop and take photos would have slowed us down way too much. Nice to see a red kite circling above town. And then that was that, back out towards the countryside.
indeed, Luton was not the highlight. Where's my brother? It's fairly big. Yellow wagtail. It's the first one I've seen for quite some time.
It's fantastic to see the river looking so clear and to see so many fish in it. But I'm sure looks are deceiving. We are downstream from Luton and we've passed a load of livestock farms. So I'm sure there's lots of farming runoff and fairly regular sewage discharges in there. The state of rivers in this country is absolutely shameful. Let's see what our current government does about it. I am not holding my breath.
It's about 2 o'clock. We're not on the Lea at the moment because it's on private land way over that way. It's really nice to be in some woods, out of the sun for a bit. It was getting hot.
We are now on a footpath that follows right next to the River Lea. Luton is about 3.5 miles behind us. We've passed through a couple of tiny villages, East Hyde and before that New Mill End. In fact, New Mill End isn't even big enough to be a village, it's just a hamlet.
We are in Batford. I never knew this place existed. Good name though. I was hoping we'd see some toads. Hello.
I can confirm that Batford is home to an Indian takeaway, a nice little nature reserve, and at least one pub where we stopped just long enough for me to have a pint of shandy to give the old sugar levels a boost before we set off again.
That's got to be an old railway track, isn't it, with that bridge?
The walk immediately after leaving Batford is in some nice countryside, good to be close to the river again, albeit with the faint whiff of a nearby sewage plant. It was also nice to spot some wildlife. A few peacock butterflies who seemed to be a little camera shy and didn't want to pose in their full glory, and a couple of great spotted woodpeckers. This is a juvenile, and here's an adult male. Loads of banded demoiselles, to be expected this close to the river. We then had our only reptile sighting of the whole walk.
I see it.
This is a slow worm, a legless lizard, not a snake.
Hello, pretty thing. It's lost its tail fairly recently. A good chunky size though. And that's where you were, matey. So off you go. Red kite number 3.
Red-legged partridge, a species introduced to the UK many years ago. This is Brocket Hall, which dates back to the 1200s, although it has been rebuilt since then. Terrible shot of a grey wagtail. Lemsford Mill, which is even older than Brocket Hall.
Apparently this is flooded. Oh, is it? There's bricks. Is there actually a footpath at the other side?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to do this and then find that there was no point.
You got wet feet?
Yeah, I've got wet feet.
At this point, the route we were planning to take didn't seem to exist.
Is this footpath even on the map?
No.
Okay, helpful.
But we managed to get back on the correct route fairly quickly, for now at least.
This is where we are.
This is Stanborough Park, where the River Lea snakes its way between two lakes.
Is it another flooded one? No. It's 7:20 and we've still got miles to go and I'm knackered.
Despite feeling tired, the walk was going well, and it continued to do so until it went wrong.
This path is looking sketchier and sketchier, and it kind of continues, sort of. I'm stung as hell, but it's funny how you're on the road and you hate it. Right now, I will take a B road. I can't bother to get it out. I'm stung anyway. I'm not actually that bothered by stinging. I can't bother to put my hoodie on. I'll probably regret that. Ow! Sting, sting, sting. Right, this is a bit crazy. We think we're cut off by river all the way around. We're hoping there's some sort of bridge. So glad I didn't wear shorts. Stung to bits as it is. And there's loads of young thistle plants in this long grass. It's a bit squelchy underfoot here, isn't it?
If we'd just used a bit of common sense and stuck to the OS map, we would have most likely lost a little bit of time, but would have eventually found the, albeit very overgrown, correct path.
This is no fun.
But foolishly and hopefully, we looked at Google Maps and believed it. Not the first time it has let me down.
sign? We are on the main road and we're going to Hatfield. And we got stuck just over the wrong side of the river there and lost about an hour. Done.
Day 1 done. This would be the longest day. Distance walked from the beginning of the Houghton Brook to the point where we left the river was almost 27.5 miles.
Just about done.
But if you add in the distance we walked to and from stations, our grand total for the day was a little over 30 miles.